Good morning and welcome to today's math lesson on angle measurements. Our do now reads, what is the length of line MN? So line MN right here is this longest side on this right triangle. So we know that side is our hypotenuse. So I'm going to go ahead and label that side C. Then I'm going to label the other two sides. So the height of the triangle is always going to be our A. That's one of the legs, and the base length of our triangle is always going to be our B. So even though that this triangle right now is rotated, I know that this is going to be the height. Side PN is the height of the triangle, and side PM is the base of the triangle. So now I'm going to write the Pythagorean theorem equation, which is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, and I'm going to plug in the numbers that we know. So we know our A and our B, so we have 15 squared plus 8 squared is equal to C squared. We don't know what our C is. So 15 squared is the same thing as 15 times 15, and that is 225. 8 squared is the same thing as 8 times 8, which is 64. So we have 225 plus 64, which is 289. So we have 289 is equal to c squared. So we just want to find the value of c. And so the opposite of squaring something is square rooting something. So we're going to go ahead and square root both sides. So we have to find the square root of 289, and then the square root of c is just, or c squared is just c. The square root of 289 is 17, so our answer is that c is equal to 17. Today's TEK is 8.8D. Our lesson target is that scholars will establish facts about the angles created when parallel lines are cut by a transversal. So that is going to look something like this. A transversal is a line that cuts through, usually at an angle of two parallel lines. And of course, our GOL is given 4 problems. Scholars will establish facts about the angles created when parallel lines are cut by a transversal with 100% accuracy. So a few vocab words to go over are the words adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are angles that have a common side. So as you can see, this side BC is a common side, and they share a vertex, which is point B. Vertical angles are angles that are across from each other, and the exact definition is 2 pairs of non-adjacent, so they're not touching, congruent angles, congruent meaning that they're the same angle, the angle measurement is the same, formed by 2 intersecting lines. So for example, angles 2 and angles 4 are vertical angles because they're not directly they don't share a side, they're not adjacent with each other, and they have the same angle measurement. And then angles 1 and 3 are also vertical angles. Complementary angles are 2 adjacent angles. So they share that common vertex, which is that common point. In this case, it would be F, and they have that common side, which is FH. And when you add up the angle measurements, it adds up to 90 degrees. So complementary adds up is 2 angles that add up to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles, an easy way to remember that is the S in supplementary also can stand for the S in straight line, because as you can see, supplementary angles are 2 angles that when you combine them together make a straight line, and straight lines are 180 degrees, so the 2 angles have to add together to be 180 degrees. So again, a transversal is a line that intersects 2 lines in the same plane at 2 different points. And so we have transversal line T here, intersecting parallel lines A and B. And so corresponding angles lie on the same side of the transversal on the same side of lines A and B. So an example of that is angle 1 and angle 5. So as you can see, they're in the same spot on the 2 different parallel lines. Alternate interior angles, the word interior means on the inside. So the interior has to be the inside right here, are non-adjacent angles. So they don't share that common side or vertex that lie on opposite sides of the transversal. And so an example of that is angle 3 and angle 6. So angle 3 right here and angle 6 right here. So they're interior because they're on the inside, and they're alternate because they're on opposite sides of this transversal intersecting line. Alternate exterior angles lie on opposite sides of the transversal. And so, for example, we have angle 1 and angle 8. So angle 1 right here and angle 8 right here, because as you can see, the exterior means the outside, and they're alternate because they're on opposite sides of that transversal line on the outside. Again, exterior means outside, interior means inside. And then the last vocab word is same side interior angles, and they lie on the same side of the transversal. So now we're talking about the same side and not alternate or opposite sides. So an example of that is angle 3 and angle 5. So angle 3 right here and angle 5 right here. So they're on the same side, as you can see. They're on this like left side of this transversal line. And they're on the different parallel lines because angle 3 is next to parallel line A and angle 5 is next to parallel line B. So for this IDO, we have 6 different questions. We have to name both pairs of alternate interior angles. So alternate means opposite, interior means inside. So we have the interior is the inside right here. So we have 2 and 6, angle 2 and angle 6, as well as angle 7 and angle 3. Then I have to name the corresponding angle to angle 3. So angle 3 is right here, and the corresponding angle is going to be angle 1 because it is in the same place, just on the other parallel line. Now I have to name the relationship between angle 1 and angle 5. So I can first identify that they're not on the same side, they're on opposite sides, so it's going to be an alternate angle. And then I have to identify whether it's an interior or exterior angle. So I can see that it's on the outside, so it's going to be an alternate exterior angles. That's their relationship. And then I have to name the relationship between angle 2 and angle 3. And so I can see that they're on the same side of this transversal. So it's same side and they're interior angles. For this next problem, we have to name an interior angle that is supplementary to angle 7. So supplementary means that it has to add up to 180 degrees, basically making a straight line. So if angle 7 is this angle right here, an interior angle and inside angle would have to be angle 2. And then for question 6, when it says name an exterior angle that is supplementary to angle 5 is right here. An exterior angle that would make it into 180 degrees or a straight line would be angle 4. For this next IDO problem, it says given the measure of angle SRN is 52 degrees, find the measure of the following angles. So if measure of angle SRN is 52, I'm going to label that right here. Then I have to find the measure of angle P and K. So P and K is the corresponding angle, and that's also going to be 52 degrees because corresponding angles also are congruent angles. So that means that they have the same angle measurement. And then I have to find the measure of angle K and M. K and M is right here. So I can see that angle K and P and angle K and M are supplementary. They make a straight line. So to find the missing angle measurement, I'm going to have to do 180 minus the 52. So 180 minus 52 is 128. And so that makes the angle measurement of K and M 128 degrees. And lastly, we have to find the measure of Qrn. So Qrn is right here. And so this right here is 128 degrees. Angle Qrn is corresponding to angle KNM. So it's also going to be 128 degrees. There's several we do problems and then some you do problems. And then lastly, you're going to have to answer your DOL on Google Form. It's 4 questions. Thanks for following along in today's math lesson, and see you in the next math video.